Hey, what's up, guys? Well, let's go back here, and today we are playing. We played a board deck yesterday, and I figured, you know what? I found this deck at the same time I found the last board deck we played, the Boar Hunter. And honestly, both decks looked really, really fun to pilot. Therefore, we are trying Boar Warlock. I was able to figure out just by looking at the deck list how Boar Hunter worked. Looking at this deck, I see like this to get copies of Boar, potentially, like this to get copies of Boar, and the rest of it, honestly, I don't understand how you copy Boar besides, like, I guess Celestial Projectionist. And honestly, that intrigues me. Knowing the fact that this deck, this exact list has hit Legend on the, I believe it was the Asian servers, makes me like, you know what? If someone was able to figure out how it works, not saying I'm nearly as smart or as good as they are. I believe they were like top 100 with the deck on the Asian servers. But I want to try my best. And there's no other way to figure it out. I mean, I guess I could watch a video, but that ain't who I am. I'm going to figure out how it works in a video. And yeah. Anyways, with all that being said, how about let's give it a shot. If I manage to get one, what is it? I can't think of the name of the sword. Sword of 1,000 Truths. I feel real bad about not knowing the name of the sword, seeing that I'm a huge South Park fan, and it is a South Park reference card. But I'm gonna try my best to try and figure it out, and hopefully we get that big dub. All right, guys. Yeah. With that being said, give it a shot, and I'll see y'all in the first game. All right, first game. Okay, apparently my deck tracker is not working, which is always fun to start a video with. Here, let me try to restart it and see if it works. Alright, well, it's clearly restarting. It's showing an ad, so I hate that. But, oh, okay. Guess it's working. Let's keep this in our hand. I don't think this works the way I think it works. Therefore, I'm not going to keep it. Okay, so there's a boar in our hand. Because if it does work the way I think it works, this is a whole other conversation of me not knowing how the deck works. But reading the cards, right? If we read Elwynn Boar, if you had 7 Elwynn Boars die this game, equip Sword of 1,000. So, in my brain, if I use potion or this thing, Tamsin's Phylactery. I have no idea if that's how you put that card, but it is what it is, and I'm gonna try to pronounce it as best I can. Honestly, burning those cards, perfect. Cycle this. If this works the way I think it works, or the way I'm assuming it works, I guess is like probably the better way of saying it. If we give that death rattle to 7 creatures, we get the sword. But again, I'm not 1,000% sure of the exact wording of the card or whatever. Less equal to the amount of cards. This cost? Cards cost is equal to the amount of cards you pick. Okay. I don't want to really play this here, so I'm gonna just do this plus this. This draws what? Potion, Defile, Raise Dead. Okay. That's hmm. Let's cycle this. You guys in hand. I can tap here. Let's okay. What does this read? Just one less this turn. I know it's. I've never personally seen this card, therefore it's a little locked in my head, but. Well, that's not ideal card, but we have 10 cards. Give me a coin. Let's do this. We draw the file, we cry about it. I'll just toss that. That's fine. I would have actually rather tossed the file, but hey, it is what it is. My ideal circumstance, I guess, because this plays the card. I'm gonna run a mini and discard this game. If I can discard just the highest cost card in my. Well, never mind. Let's Holy Wrath is a hell of a card. Let's queue up the next one. Alright. Ugh. I'm so tired. I feel fucking drained today. So excuse me if I'm yawning throughout the video. Turmoil this whole hand. Let's just pray for. Let's play for a game where we can actually try and pull off. Honestly, I'm kind of curious to see if Tamsin's potion thing, perfume, or the I don't know how to pronounce the fucking word phylactery or whatever. I kind of hope it works the way I want it to work, even though reading the card does not tell me that it works that way. Alright. Honestly, if I draw that again, we're in a pretty position. I have a feeling we may or may not be playing as big, but tap this. Tap and cycle. That's fine. The only other thing that can like pops into my mind of like the way this all works is like you want to discard it with and then like replay it with this or something, but not 1000% sure it works that way. Honestly, even draw me a card. He doesn't have to know about that though until he attacks into it and then he realizes I do not draw a card off of it. The file would be a very good draw. Okay. It sucks that we drew all 4 of our fire spells before that died, but what can you do? Unlucky. Well, we take the fitty here. God. Not when potentially next turn we have a much better odds at actually eating the 6/5. Thank God I won that 50. All right. Are you ready to ride? Oh my God. I am so... Oh, my brain is half functioning. I won't lie right now. Violent potion. Do this. We currently have 20 damage that we're pushing on the board, which that's a really bad card to see here. I won't lie. All right, well, let's see, push 1 damage here. Goes. Okay. What I want to realistically see here, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay. How do I discard cards? Uh, uh it's just potion. I might as well just honestly play aside the potion. Is Soulwarden is kind of like our only way of really discarding cards. But man, it feels so weird. Like I'm playing a deck where my goal is to figure out a way to play 15 copies, or not 15, 7 copies of Boar. And that feels much harder than I think people understand. But this year, I guess. That's wild. Uh, my hand's full of a whole bunch of board wipes and cards that I feel like do fuck all in this matchup. But okay, well that's the thing. How does he have? Oh yes, yeah. Playing a Sarah would give a little more mana than I have. Guard 3 random cards. But how do I want to discard cards? I guess like wing welding. I just don't understand how I realistically want to discard Elwynn Boar with this deck. Again, this deck has been fucking with my head since I first saw it, and I really want to figure out how it worked. And I thought that playing the deck would like lead to that, but it doesn't. Just stop here. Okay. I mean, I feel like there's a way. Honestly, I feel like this card is really strong, but it needs like 6 cards to set up. So, that doesn't work the way I realistically would want it to work. Well, that's the thing. Honestly, I'm good just hitting this button, but oh, pretty sure I don't think it really. Oh yeah, I'm good. All right, let's cue the next one and hopefully figure out in the next one how this deck works. All right, Druid. I want to say Druid typically has a little bit less interaction, but honestly, at this point, I don't even know if that's true or not. Because it could also just be an OTK deck that kills me on like turn 4 and I just bitch. Who knows? I'm playing Boar on 1 and then hoping that potion works the way I want it to. Like an aggro, mid-range, tempo. Alright. Oh, man. Also, I don't think I said it yet, but I hope everybody has a beverage. I currently have myself a nice cold brewski. So what would I have besides a brewski? You guys know me at this point. Always sitting in my room drinking a brewski. Unless I'm drinking something else because I'm about to go to work. But for the most part, always drinking me a nice cold brewski. I don't even know if this will ever trigger, but hopefully we eat something that's decent. Like I don't even know if his list is playing any minions that are not Hemel, you know? So. I want to wait a turn before I just do this. We're taking, what is this, 4 damage? Realistically, maybe a little bit more, but on paper, basically, it's 4 damage. That's the card. Okay. You know what? Play a little greedy. By a little greedy, I mean a little bit's lots greedy. Should have played Raise Dead there. Could have drawn another expensive minion plus. Or play the Raise Dead to get an expensive minion. By expensive minion, I mean. What is it? Rotheart Dryad plus Elwynn Boar. Ugh. Fuck. I'm so tired. My brain is just actually right. I should not be trying to learn a new deck right now, I'll be honest. But at the same time, I don't care. I wanted to play this deck when I saw it. And I can just say, you know what, we're playing. He's dead. Why does this game hate me? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I feel like there's so many better Death Files to try and be playing as a combo deck for Warlock with Philanthropy, however you pronounce it. I'm gonna probably say like 30 different ways to pronounce the name of this card. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Phylactery. Alright. Okay. As I thought, I'm not gonna figure out how this deck actually works.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Apparently, my virtual assistant decided to lend her opinion. What's the best? What is the best here? They're Fracking. I don't know if mulling both of those cards is actually anywhere near decent, but
Go on, take a bite.
see today. Just hope this is good. That at least used all of his mana. Maybe he's like an innovator or something to try and. Oh, that's dope. Okay. I just. A 9/9 here, I guess. Don't know if that was worth it or not, but I feel like that is a pretty safe-ish play. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm dead here. Honestly, I'm not dead this turn. I'm probably dead on my turn. Or my next turn. Or his next. My brain is not fucking working. Like, legit. I sat down and I felt like for us, yeah, throughout the first 3 games, I was actually at this, like, think about my plays, and currently I'm like, I'm staring at my hand, staring at my opponent's board. I'm like, I don't have any idea how. It's wild. Like, encourage. So we can tap. Honestly, I'm doing this. Partially, I want to know if it triggers. It does not. Alright, so at least we know the I have no idea how the player of this deck ever won a game. I don't know if it's just that my brain is not currently working or I'm missing something painfully obvious. But none of this shit makes sense. Like, maybe it's like you copy... Right, if you discard a copy of Boar when you play Celestial on it, the... Okay. I'm not going to play another game, partially because my brain is not going to work and I know it's going to end up in a loss. But also partially because I want to give my opinion or my thought process through how, like, the goal of actually hitting a boar would work. Is you play this on this. You discard the temporary copy of it. So now you get it back with this. And then, like, the problem is I don't know the rest of it, right? Because that's still only 3 copies of it. And then you get, like, 2 more back with Soulwarden, so that's 5 copies. And are you just hoping to hit triggers with, like, Raised Dead? And if that's the case, I still don't know how someone managed to hit Legend, especially top 100. Like, nothing in this deck is actually clicking in my brain of how it works. And, to be fair, I've had a couple beers today, I won't lie. But I was looking at the deck sober and I couldn't figure out how it worked. So that's why I was like, you know what, let's play games, let's try to figure it out together. So this way, like, if I figure out how something would work in the game, like, it would click and I'd be able to explain it. But after having played this deck, nothing makes sense as to how it would work. So, that's the thing. Still not 100% sure how anything works. Anyways, I don't know how many of you guys noticed it, but for when the new set comes out in July, I did pick out the rest of the pack that was missing. But no, besides that, I have nothing else to say. I think this deck is terrible, partially so I can't click in my brain how it works. If anybody else can figure out how it works and can explain it to me, that would be great. But genuinely, I have no idea how this works. Seeing that, like, popping the death rattle of, like, Boar doesn't actually work the way you want it to work. And yeah, it's honestly giving me a headache. The more I'm trying to, like, the more I'm looking at the deck. I'm trying to figure out how it works. The less anything makes sense. With all that being said, I'm absurdly tired. A little bit fucked up, I won't lie. So I'm gonna hop off here. I hope y'all enjoyed me trying to figure out how apparently a top 100 legend deck works. With zero context clues, and I still don't quite know, but it is what it is. Anyways, with all that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as always. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Have a great rest of your day, and I'm going to see you guys all on the next one where hopefully we get some more dubs. Alright guys, yeah. With that being said, I will see y'all in the next. Yeah. Peace!